What's good, YouTube? Cardfight King here. Aqua Life, baby. You already know how it is. So, I'm extremely excited. You guys already saw the reaction video. I'm extremely excited about Vallejos. I think he's that alpha male, that strong leadership type of character that the troops and everybody else wants to just galvanize around, and we can go to war knowing that we're gonna come out victorious. He's that type of character. I love his demeanor, love his attitude, just love everything about the character just from seeing him from that first episode. Such a cool character, Sentient Hell, all of that, great. As for Vallejos' skill, I love the skill of Vallejos. I think it's something that we've needed for a long time. I think that this is a card that's going to take us into that bright new future and bring us definitely back up into relevancy. Building a deck around him, making sure that plays go through him and around his ability. A great structure. I think he's a great foundation piece for the upcoming Blue Wave support. Like he said in the episode, this is not the Aqua Force that you know. This is my Aqua Force. This is this is what attacks. This is what the Blue Waves of destruction look like. Not whatever we all been playing. Now on that note, I think all Aqua Force players need to take a step back. Kindly, I'm doing that too. Taking a step back. Now, why are we taking a step back? Because as great as this stuff is and as hyped as I am about it, you gotta calm down and look at the cautionary side of what about this stuff. One of the cautionary sides is costs. You saw Vallejos counterblast, discard, Flood Max, counterblast, discard 2. Now this was just from his first stride. The effects are extremely sexy. I mean, I love these effects. Triple attack in one turn by one rear guard, a restanding Vanguard on your first stride, outstanding. But you're in effect discarding 3 cards. You're going to drive check 3 cards, but you're also in total discarding 3 cards on your turn. Really, you're not going to net anything. If you're going to use the restand, during that turn or that play. You're also going to be using 2 counterblasts. And Vallejos obviously goes with the soul. So what I'm getting at is that these plays are extremely sexy. These are really cool. I enjoy them. But looking at the costs of these cards, now Flood Max is great because you can use him as like a pseudo Ganslab, because we can just get a quad check, GB3 and higher, and our Blue Wave front row rear guards get plus 3,000 power. I think that's absolutely fantastic. But again, it's these costs that you guys have to keep in mind. Are we going to get, with the new stand trigger that we're getting for Blue Waves, the new draw trigger, the new heal trigger, is there more to that G Guardian that he showed that works in the 3rd battle? Those are some of the questions I have in mind, but one of the bigger questions that I'm asking is, what are we going to get that is going to help with this resource management? Because while these effects are sexy, that counterblast 2 and discard, the counterblast, counterblast, discard 2, I'm not too fond of discarding cards when it comes to Aqua Force. Some say that, it plays like Brave in a sense, and I'm like, well, it does in a way. I guess you see that with discarding, keeping your hand, but Brave is all about keeping your hand at 3 or less, and at the end of your turn, a chain of effects can go off, and then you can, rebuild your hand so you can have some defense, but you lower your hand and go all out, and then depending on what cards you have out, you have a chance to regain your hand and go back and put up some type of defense. But with that being said, with Aqua Force, but Royals can superior call. We can't superior call as it stands right now. So are we going to get a more effective method of soul charging so we can continue to abuse Vallejos' the skill that we know the only skill that we know that he has right now? Are we going to be able to soul charge outside of Malika to fuel that, especially with Free Dragon, who I think is a really good card? His Soul Blast ability from the drop zone to bring him back to your hand when your Blue Wave Vanguard restands at the end of your turn. How are we going to manage Counterblast? We have Supersonic Sailor, who obviously helps with that, but are we going to get another method that's a little bit more consistent in that regard? How are we going to build up more hand advantage? Some people say you have Dagger Master, you have some people play Bubble Edge, you have Brutal Trooper. Brutal Trooper is an outstanding card, but as I've explained before, Brutal Trooper is only a plus when your Vanguard restands. If your Vanguard is not restanding, all he's doing is replacing himself with a chance of you drawing into him again or drive checking him. So all Brutal Trooper does is on the first attack your Vanguard throws out, he's replacing himself from your hand. The second attack, that's when he starts to plus. Same with Dagger. With Dagger Master, Draco Kid, it's you're just moving him to soul and then you're drawing once. So you're just going to be, I guess, going +1 to hand, then restand, I guess, +2 to hand, even though you're losing your rear guard. But he's 5k, so it doesn't really matter in that regard. But you guys get what I'm saying, is that what are we going to receive that's going to help with our resource management so we can fuel this skill and maintain a stable level of play? Now, the one thing I haven't even gotten into yet, and which I had to catch myself on, was this match, our matchups, our future matchups and current matchups as we go along. From what it seems like, Mega Colony is going to get, is getting that card that prevents you from calling things out. Also, flips over your own counterblast, meaning that it's going to limit a lot of options that we're going to have. In a sense, Mega Colony is definitely looking like it's going to be once again one of our biggest walls to success in a way, especially since you have two antagonists now playing, one's playing the female version of Darkface, the other one's playing the male version of Darkface. So Darkface, Mega Colonies in general are about to definitely get what I would believe to be a wealth of support. Kagero is going to Kagero is already a bit of an issue, especially with Blade Master, even though some people prefer Overlord or Blade Master. I'm not getting into that, but from what Blade Master can do to Aqua Force, and even Overlord to an extent by getting rid of cards on our board, they have, Overlord has Defeat Flare and things like that. How are we going to better able to deal with it? Because we're about to get the Destiny, the Purge, we're about to get the Dragon Empire, Ultimate Stride soon. So, Kagero is about to get a pretty good chunk of some really good support. So we're going to definitely need to see, how that translates. And then, looking at what we have out now, we have, Luard and ZTB. We already know what those decks are capable of and they can do. How do we stack up against them on a consistent basis? You can't just, like I said before, you can't just say, oh, well, we have this, this, and this. It's like, we have this, but are we going to draw into it consistently? Can we consistently beat them? Don't forget what your opponent also has. Your opponent also has really good plays and, also take into account the player's skill. But your opponent's deck also has really, really, really good, strong, powerful plays, early game, mid game, late game, that they can execute as well. So don't ever think that, your deck is the end all be all, like, oh, we have this, so we can beat this. You got to take into account scenarios. Battle Sisters. Battle Sisters, from what I've, researched a little bit and from what I've heard from locals that happened yesterday, just disgusting early game. Powerful, hit, draw, a lot of just attacks, stacking crits. It just seems as if Battle Sisters have just have gone from trash, to some rags to riches, basically, something like that. It's different. So while I'm loving this Vallejo stuff and things like that, I'm just taking a step back because I'm like, okay, what are the rest of the cards we're gonna get? how are we going to be able to better manage our resources? And when it comes to matchup, when they reveal the rest of the support for cards in set 13, what are they going to get that could potentially counter us? I'm more worried about Kagro than anything else in this set. You know, what are they going to get? And then for the Zeus set, what's Mega Connie looking like? Chaos Breaker, you can't forget about my first round draft pick, Chaos Breaker. Can't forget about him. Definitely just a deck that I think that's going to also be able to transcend format, translate well into GZ. With Deluge and whatnot, and obviously I played Chaos too, so I'm definitely going to be brushing up on my matchup knowledge against Chaos Breaker and things like that, since obviously I own both. So I still have a lot of questions, a lot of answers that need to be given to me. I'm extremely excited. I think that, the hype train is, still going to be moving forward, but, moving forward with caution that, while we're caught up in the hype of this, we also have to recognize the other factors, our resource management and matchups, among other things. All right, but that's the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, we're going to be back with more Aqua news. Hopefully we get to see some reveals tonight, and I'll hit you guys up when, the next wave of reveals comes through. All right, Cardfight King, Aqua Life, baby. You already know how it is. Go Redskins. We beating the Eagles tonight. Let's go. First place in division, baby. Let's go. All right, we out.